Wasn't living a real life, filled with battles and strife. Always giving bad advice, but now I realize everything I despised was because of rolling the dice. Paid a heavy price, ran away from the noise to hear the inner voice. Was just the only choice to be removed from the void. Now the world's like a toy and truly singing joy. Time being, I'm feeling positive. Love's all I have to give. New initiative. Don't be competitive. That is nowhere to live. Only thing left is inside. This feeling needs to ignite. Inner progress inspired of what the eyes try to tell me to say. I no longer agree. This feeling, expansion, celestial mansion. There's so much to explore. Consequences like chores made experience a bore. Now got you to adore, and I am rest assured. This feeling revived and happy to be alive. Time being, because the source guarantees feeling infinitely free, so happily reprieve. So lonely presence, so lonely presence. Time being, 10 horns. In alchemy, 10 is revered as a magical, transformative metal associated with the planet Jupiter, embodying expansion, prosperity, and benevolent power. Known for its flexibility and conductivity, 10 is not symbolism for the breath of life, because the fabricated elements are only relevant to the fallen state. No, 10 symbolism is for the righteous heiress, the truth heir, avatar, and signifying the pure potential for rapid growth, enlightened righteousness, and the awakened consciousness. This is the restoration of consciousness, whose dispensation is progressive. The numeric number 10 is also related to change and shifts in one's understanding. The number 10 symbolizes perfection, completeness, and transposing sublime order. It represents fresh blessings, holiness, wholeness, responsibility, and new phases. That is why it is used in terms of commandments and plagues. Also the return of order, Christ, material consciousness, out of chaos, the fallen state. The metal 10 is intrinsically linked to Jupiter as the unveiling of enchanting secrets. 10 exists as a hidden gems amongst the shining stars like gold, silver, and platinum. 10 is far from ordinary, which is why it is relevant to the book of Revelation as a blind due to being a mystical conduit. 10 is a naturally occurring element found in small amounts within the physical structure and plays a role in supporting various bodily functions, including the immune system and bone health. Tin is also present in the body's tissue. The Latin name for tin is stannum, which originally meant an alloy of silver and lead, and has now come to be known as tin. The earlier Latin word for it was plumb canidum, or white lead. Tin is used as a medium to connect with the ethereal realm, or the awakened consciousness, because of the ability to attain guidance from the celestials. Tin holds a secret power known as joyful resonance, just as musicians weave melodies with their instruments. Tin has the unique ability to amplify happiness and contentment. Alchemists have revered tin as a symbol of balance and transcendence. Tin's magical properties Tin harnesses magical properties that help elevate the mundane to the extraordinary. Beyond its mystical properties, tin was a rare precious metal, highly sought after because of the flexibility and durability. Aligning the metal tin with the number 10, and without this understanding, the book of Revelation is of little practical use unless we apply this. Used in tandem, they make the direct experience, gnosis, luminous, with meaning and truth victorious. Through this understanding of growth, working together while simultaneously achieving a common goal of completion, makes this a superior methodology. This is the meaning of cellular consciousness. The two tins happening at the same time, working as a cohesive team. Another point of view, if one was to substitute the metal 10 instead of the number 10, would radically alter the understanding of the apocalyptic beast and its power. This shift would imply from imitation power to real power. The 10 horns traditionally symbolize 10 kings or kingdoms that give their power to the beast, the world ego, a supposed formidable, unified, and terrifying alliance in the end times. Daniel 7 verse 24, Revelation 17 verses 12 to 13. If they were 10 horns, it would imply that the final global system is feeble, cheap, and merely putting on a show rather than possessing true strength. A 10 horn implies something that makes a lot of noise that has no substance. This means that leaders supporting the Antichrist are all talk, boastful, and deceptive, and is only echoing the description of the beast, having a mouth that speaks great things and blasphemies. The beast in Revelation 17 verses 12 through 13 is supported by these kings, the world ego, for 1 hour. This already indicates a short duration, and interpreting them as 10 horns suggests the coalition is structurally fragile, easily broken, and unstable, a cheap imitation of a strong kingdom. The deception of the false king, the world eagle supporting the beast, is 10. Cheap, artificial, therefore reinforcing the idea that the Antichrist kingdom is a deception, a counterfeit of the truth, instead of gold power that kingdoms usually boast of. In the end, replacing the number 10 with 10 is apropos by the world ego standards because it interprets the world ego as it really is, from a mighty, terrifying political force to a fragile, noisy, and artificial alliance that only appears strong, but is ultimately destined to be easily crushed by the Lamb, Christ's material consciousness, the abode of soul, the only presence. The inner guidance of the awakened consciousness, the highest form of intuition, enlarges the more deeply entered into truth. This is the assurance and gives one confidence there is sublime communion that has been established as righteousness. Now the truth identity of the righteous heirs reigns supreme. This power and presence dissipates negation in every form and symbolizes a high place in consciousness as the tabernacle of testimony, honoring the soul, the only presence, the original spark within the depths of Christ's material consciousness. When awakened consciousness releases the activity of the avatara, there is a new movement going forward as expansion 10, and a new height of trust and peace is sustained. It should be noted that even at rest, the number 10, completion, and all seems to be inactive. Christ's material consciousness, the Lamb, abides and unfolds awakened consciousness within the temporary personality. This signifies the call into expression, so the only presence, scattering all the errors that seem to stand in the way. Awakened consciousness is the reaping of lasting benefits from gnosis, the direct experience. This experience being rightly related to truth, the righteous heirs, is carried over into the promised land. Awakened consciousness, the reality of substance, individual materialism consciousness, Patmos and Bhava, the clear discerning of the light of the perfect day. So, the inner meeting place, tabernacle, the center in Christ's material consciousness, where the individual materialism consciousness touches as the reflection, contemplation of Christ's material consciousness. The kingdom has come. So many presents.